Good morning, beloved. May the peace that passes all understanding be among us this morning. I'm Pastor Elizabeth from Beneficent Congregational Church in downtown Providence. Under normal circumstances, we would be gathering today in the meeting house of my church, but our circumstances are hardly normal. Nonetheless, I wanted to extend to you the same greeting with which we greet our congregation and visitors on Sunday mornings. Welcome to people of all colors, sexual orientations, and gender identities and expressions, all body shapes and sizes, all ages, and everywhere along the spectrum of physical, mental, and emotional health and well-being. Because you are here, this gathering is whole and perfect. We are here to bear witness to some precious lives and to lift up in loving memory the souls of those we lost in the year 2020. Will you pray with me? God of many names and many holy texts and many peoples, God who belongs to us all, in the quiet peace of this hour, we come to you. We come to be comforted by your gentle spirit. We come to hold precious souls close and to cover the sorrow of our hearts with folded hands. We come to savor the sweetness of love, but also to share together the ache of loss. We know that you hover near us now. Bless for us this sacred time of remembrance and love. Amen.
Good morning. Let us take a moment to mourn old friends and loved ones. One moment to reflect on the memories too precious to let go of. Memories built on moments we have shared throughout the years, enjoying each other's time. 2020 has been an extremely rough year on all of us. If it has taught us anything, it has taught us to pause and enjoy life with the ones we hold dearest to our hearts. Unfortunately, for the homeless community, taking a pause from everyday life does not come easy. Throughout every day in the years, we have lost many individuals trying to survive the elements in addition to surviving life on the streets. This pandemic has only exacerbated one's ability to do so. So I'm calling on you all today to take a moment to pause in silence for all individuals lost to COVID-19, but especially for individuals in the homeless community. Let the moment of silence begin.
We remember you, the ones left outside to freeze.
We remember you.
The ones that are lost to their demons.
We remember you.
The ones who lost to themselves.
We remember you.
The ones at the bottom of the bottle.
Homeless people too. Weary and lost. Crying, crying, crying. Lost in the full of day. It's a cycle too. We remember you. Homeless are people too, is what we go through. Determined and strong, loving, dreaming, shining, persevering despite all trouble. We remember you.
People who want to shine and help others. Normal people who've just had some bad luck. We remember you.
People who serve their country when their country wouldn't serve them. Faith-based people.
Creative people who play a mean guitar, strong and determined. People who can speak out, sing out, and make poetry.
We remember you. Homelessness is cruel, happening daily. Listen, there is people. Remember you.
People that need help before we lose another person. Let's start now.
Remember you.
So look around here. Where are the advocates now? The call now goes out.
Remember you.
There is an answer. At last someone listens. That there is hope in sight.
Remember you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David. I'm sort of old hat to this, and I've been doing this since 2009. But go figure that we're doing a video homeless memorial. Everything's virtual reality, no touch, barely any communications. It's like everything has changed. What can we do to fix it? Basically, just to get through a day, appreciate what you have, and still advocate for your fellow people out there, because everybody needs somebody, despite what's going on today. Because it's so strange. We got to go forward instead of going retrograde. The person next to you is still important to you. Just don't distance yourself too far from them. Because basically we all need each other. And the theme for my let's say my segue is a moment of silence, which is the theme for this year's Homeless Memorial. A moment of silence. Together we gather as one, although the times have changed. It's a scary world, and with people dying, now our ways of meeting are rearranged. Now it seems to be a world of hate and a lack of love. Oh, how I wish the agony here would relent. As we gather together, it's now time to remind others by showing love, and let's have a moment of silence. In an ever-changing world, there's something lost. Virtual hugs and relying on another computer monitor? There's no such thing as virtual tears. And listen, Things will never be the same as they were once before. Well, more than the homeless this year have passed away, as today we'll virtually gather here in Providence. Let's pay respects and try to take care of others. The eulogies now begin in earnest with a moment of silence. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. It's great to see you, or if not see you, know that we're sharing in this space together. My name is Megan. I'm an outreach worker with the House of Hope, and I'm grateful this year, even more so than most years, to have the opportunity to be with all of you together to commemorate those whom we've lost. And I'm also grateful that in my role as an outreach worker, I've had the opportunity to continue to be with the community through this time. When so many of us have not been able to continue to see folks, at least not in 3 dimensions. And I'm struck both by how much has changed in the last year, everything from logistics of masks and hand sanitizer to all of the structural changes that have made life even harder for the community with whom we work, the reductions in shelter space, the closures of public agencies and buildings, the closures of so many of the bureaucracies that folks rely on for basic survival. And at the same time, I'm really struck by all the things that have not changed. It feels like COVID has been one more existential threat layered upon so many that our folks face day in and day out. Poverty already puts people's lives in danger every single day in so many ways. And COVID is just one more layer on top of that. And it's so hard to see people who are already so ignored and marginalized, further ignored and further marginalized, and given even yet more of a wider berth than was already happening. And it seems like, well, for many of us who are white and who are middle class or upper class, COVID represents this new sudden feeling of threat and isolation. For so many people in this community, that's been the norm long before COVID. And well, I wish that created an opportunity for solidarity. It feels like, unfortunately, things have all too often trended the wrong direction, where it's been one more justification given to separate ourselves from others. And so I'm grateful to be with a community of people who wants to draw those connections, especially now in the present moment. And again, in this present time, I think that trusted community is all the more valuable and all the more necessary. And I am so grateful to be here with all of you again, first and foremost, to commemorate those who have died this past year, of whom there have been so many, not just of COVID, but of overdose and of just so many things that happen with just having to survive in a system that is oppressive and violent. But I'm also grateful for this as an opportunity to reinvigorate ourselves, to stand with and be with and work for those who are living, those who are fighting every day to keep living, despite a structure that is deeply violent, and that creates long odds to persevering in the face of it. So again, thank you all. I'm so grateful to know and work with each and every one of you. And I look forward to this coming year and standing shoulder to shoulder with all of you and with this community. Thank you all.
Good morning, everybody. I don't know if you can hear me right now. I'm new with.
We could hear you, Diamond. I don't know if you stopped talking, but whatever you were doing, it was working.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. I would like to say I'm grateful to be here. I'm honored. This is something big for me, and with that, I hope everybody enjoys my poem. I would like to take another moment of silence. Hang on. I would like to take another moment of silence to the people that we lost during COVID. It's sad. It's sad that we had such an equal amount of those I've known and lost during this time that didn't make it through the 2020s. Let us recognize, remember those who we lost, who lived life at a cost of survival, day to day, without a price to pay. Those were fathers, mothers, sons, and daughters. They deserve to be recognized, not ostracized. They were far from being loved, who showed care. Do we dare to say that life was not fair for them? How would we know unless we say, I'm here to understand what they've been through. I'm here to help you to recover your breakthrough. So let us remember these words spoken. I was once homeless, and now I'm not. I'm an advocate. I'm a strong voice for the homelessness. But now I'm a good support to be there for the broken. So let's recognize the ones that we lost. And I always remember you from day to day till dusk to dusk. Thank you. God bless.
All right, thank you so much for sharing that, Diamond. I really appreciate those words, and I'm going to now share our closing remarks. And as I reflect on this year and really even this last bit of time that we've been together, there's actually one of the things that David said in his poem, "Oh, how I wish the agony would relent." And I'm struck by the power of those words. And I think there's something that we all can really relate to, right? We all wish the agony of the pandemic, of the violence that we see in the homeless community, even when it's not a pandemic, the agony of the racial injustice that has lived for years, injustice, and continues to exist, the violence that's escalated, what has happened. And I think we all wish and pray for that to relent. And I just want to thank David for that quote, because I'm finding that echoing very much in my heart and soul in this moment. And I think as I reflect on who we've lost, which has been more people in homelessness than we would normally lose, right? So this is an even more poignant year. And personally, I lost my mother in March, so we're getting up to about the anniversary of her death. And there was a poem that really got me through that period. And I think, and I'm hoping that others will also find it to be something that they can relate to. And this poem, if you're curious, is by Gwen Flowers, and it's called Grief. I had my own notion of grief. I thought it was a sad time that followed the death of someone you love, and you just had to push through it to get to the other side. But I'm learning there is no other side. There is no pushing through, but rather there is absorption, adjustment, and acceptance. And grief is not something that you complete, but is rather something you endure. Grief is not a task to finish and move on, but it becomes an element of yourself, an alteration of your being, a new way of seeing, a new dimension of self. And I think that that poem is not only relevant when we think about the individual people that we've lost and how we love them and don't lose sight of their loss and what that means, but I think it also speaks to what kind of Diamond and others spoke to about the need for kind of activism and advocacy and moving this forward. And, you know, when I talked about the Gettysburg Address in last year's, I don't think I realized how poignant that allegory would be, right? That I don't think I realized that we were in the point of the war where it was going to end up being longer and harder than we had envisioned. And so we really need now more than ever to just resolve, as the Gettysburg Address said, that these deaths, you know, these dead will not have died in vain, and that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people shall not perish from the earth. And I think to really provide what people need, it's listening to them, it's elevating their voices, it's funding more affordable housing and supporting one another, and letting this grief and resolve integrate into the way that we do everything so this doesn't happen again, I think is one of the best ways that we can honor those that have passed. And thank you all for letting me go on that little diatribe, but we really do appreciate and just mourn all those that we have lost. And I think we end with a musical tribute.
Before we go into the actual musical, there's a few words that I would like to say in regards to the virtual homeless memorial. First, I would like to say thank you to all who have participated in this event. This was a memorable event that we could not do in person, but we have to do this virtually. And we are still remembering those who have passed on during 2020. Yes, 2020 was a rough year for us all, but we triumphed through. Yes, we lost loved ones, but we triumphed through. And today we are taking this moment to remember those who lived homeless, because these were people too. And we're so forever grateful that we're having this opportunity to do this memorial and to remember them. I counted the privilege and the honor that we had our bells rung throughout the region of Rhode Island during the moment of silence. That says a lot to say that these were people that we need to not only remember, but to honor. And so again, we thank you. We thank you for this opportunity. We can't thank you enough for this opportunity to be here on today, to remember those who we lost. These were our friends. These were our family. These were people that we knew on the streets. And we will work tirelessly. The coalition will work tirelessly to find a home to those who need a place to stay. But nevertheless, we like to thank all our constituents, all our service providers, everyone who works closely with our clients to ensure that there will be safety in the midst of during this pandemic. But again, we thank you and we appreciate you. So on today, before this closing, there is going to be a song that I have sung called Tears in Heaven. And I hope that you enjoy this, and we will see you soon. Yes, we will see you soon on the next Homeless Memorial. God bless.
Would you know my name if I saw you in heaven? Would you be the same if I saw you in heaven? I must be strong and carry on, 'cause I know I don't belong here in heaven. Yeah. Would you hold my hand if I saw you in heaven? Would you help me to stand if I saw you in heaven? I'll find my way through night and day, 'cause I know I just can't stay here in heaven. Time can bring you down, time can bend your knees. Oh, time can break your heart, having begging please, begging please. Ooh, yeah. Beyond the shore, there's peace, I'm sure, and I know there'll be no more tears in Won't you know my name if I saw